Welcome to my latest video in the Making Your Business Less Dependent on You series based on the book of the same name. Last week, I talked about what you hope to achieve from this journey. This week, we're going to start talking about your ultimate destination and in particular, management buyouts. Now, of course, you need to be able to afford to get out. There's no point jumping out of the frying pan into the fire, and I'll cover that in a future video. But in the meantime, if you want to plan ahead and make the right decisions about what to do next, you need to start with the end in mind. Let's face it, you can't go on forever, so what are the alternatives? One of them might be a management buyout. A management buyout is where existing members of your team buy you out from the business. The first advantage is that your business keeps the relationship with its customers. One of my clients once said that after he retired, he didn't want to walk around the corner of the supermarket and bump into one of his old customers and then have to listen to complaints about the standards of service since the new owner had taken over. Hopefully that's less likely to happen with a management buyout. Your existing team have got industry knowledge and should know the business inside out. In addition, the transition should be seamless. If you handle it well, then the customers will barely notice that you've gone. Well, maybe. And finally, your business is something you have put a lot of time and energy into. It's been your project, perhaps for decades. Maybe you would rather see it in the hands of the people who helped you along that journey. But there are disadvantages of a management buyout. First of all, you need to be honest and say you're unlikely to get the best price. After all, the people that are buying from you have been employees for a long time. It's unlikely they will have saved up sufficient funds to buy you out of the business. And even if they have been saving, then that is a substantial part of their wealth, and they might not be prepared to risk that much. There are ways around this, though, but they probably mean that you'll get less money up front, and you will have to risk leaving some of what you're owed in the business, perhaps for a considerable time. With that in mind, what if it doesn't work? Are you going to get legal guarantees they will pay you personally if the business fails? That might be hard to negotiate. And maybe you've got some really good personal relationships with those people. Will those relationships be damaged if there are difficulties down the line? But if you can get over those hurdles, then there are a few ways you can structure a management buyout. The first one is a sale of shares. The usual way is that the management team sets up its own holding company. The holding company then does a deal to buy the shares in the trading company from you. That will trigger some capital gains tax for you, which will be payable on the 31st of January after the end of the tax year in which you've done the sale. That means if you do the sale on the 6th of April, then you've got almost 22 months until the tax is payable. Remember, the tax bill will be on the whole price, even if the sale price is spread over many years. Once that structure is in place, then the trading business now pays out dividends to the holding company, which pays what it owes to you, perhaps with interest on top. There's another way of doing this, which is becoming quite popular, and that's what's called an employee ownership trust. This is not for everyone, so I'm going to skim through the basic features. An employee ownership trust is set up for the benefit of the employees. 75% of the shares in your company must be sold to another company which is owned by that trust in order for you to get the main tax benefits. That trust then appoints directors to run the company, presumably your current team, although they might recruit someone else to replace you, and the remaining shares can then be bought by other parties, including the directors, or they can remain with you. The advantage of an employee ownership trust is that the proceeds are tax-free to you. That's right. Tax-free. Well, at the time of recording this video anyway. The company can then pay annual tax-free bonuses of up to £3,600 per annum to employees. The next way of structuring a deal is what we call a franchise arrangement. This is where you retain your shares in the company. The management team set up a new limited liability partnership or company to trade directly with your customers and suppliers. That new company then pays an annual fixed fee for a period of time to your company for the use of its name, goodwill, etc. That fee is taxed on your company but saves tax for the new company. So in effect, it's tax neutral. But the amount that you would need to be paid on that annual fee will be higher than if you were selling the business because of the tax you will pay on those fees. The good bit, though, is there's no capital gains tax on this sort of arrangement. At the end, there will be a final payment and the new company will continue trading with no further payments to you. You keep your company and you either use it for investment purposes or gradually run it down by drawing dividends or maybe even liquidate it. I hope that's given you some food for thought. Management buyout is not for everyone. For a start, There need to be members of your team capable of running the business once you're no longer there. And if it's too dependent on you, that might be difficult. I explore lots of ideas in my book, Making Your Business Less Dependent on You, and my team at A4G can help with all the different ways that you might want to structure a management buyout. Next week, I'll explore the roller coaster ride of selling to a third party.